Welcome back, everyone, to R2Kast number 2, Series 2, Episode 2. Good to see you all and hope you enjoyed the first episode with the vet, Hazel Mullins. Today we have someone very famous on social media. We'll get into that later on. Today we have Louise, if you want to say hello there, Louise.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to have Louise on. You might be recognising her face. I'm not going to mention straight away as to why. Now, the title will probably give it away, but still, we'll get into the reasons for that later on. Louise, could you tell us a bit about the farm you're on, a bit about it, where you are as well, and a bit about yourself?
Hi, so I'm living and working on my parents' dairy farm in Scotland. And I also work on my grandparents' farm as well. They've got sheep and beef cattle. So I work between the two farms there.
Any preference, the dairy or the beef and sheep?
Sheep. I love sheep.
Finally, someone who can back the sheep side of things. So I take it you're on the dairy more often, just given it's sort of mum and dad's, or not necessarily?
Yeah. Well, I'm in charge of rearing the calves, so I feed the calves morning and night. So I feed if I'm working away from home, then I'm feeding the calves before I go, and then when I come back at night, I'm feeding the calves at night.
So just for a lot of people watch this that aren't involved in farming at all, and quite a lot of people that are watching actually, I've got a few people that are on the sort of cusp of trying to get into agriculture. They follow because I'm a lecturer, but also follow just because I'm showing what's happening in farming. Now, feeding calves sounds like an easy job, but could you just enlighten the viewers as to what that actually involves?
So with dairy calves, the mothers are getting milked, so I am their mother. So I'm feeding them their milk. All my calves are in individual pens I try and keep them in their pens for up to at least 3 weeks, and then they get grouped together. So they're fed individual buckets of milk. You get 4 litres per feed, so that's twice a day. And then they're grouped together, and then they get put onto, I call it the titty bar. So it's groups of 12. So that's two titty bars. And and then they go into trough, get fed milk out the trough, and then they get weaned about 10 to 12 weeks, and then they just get their cake and their haylage from there.
What an excellent name that is, Titty Bar. Brilliant. How many milking cows is there on the farm?
There's about 180 average throughout the year.
Is that Holstein Friesians?
Yeah, aye.
Yeah. Any idea what they're yielding, or not sure?
Oh, I couldn't tell you, actually. I'm not sure.
No. Moving over to the better side anyway, the sheep side. I am constantly filming podcasts with Cameron Wilson. I see you are often donor of the sheep game merch.
I work with Cameron Wilson on Thursdays at the market.
You poor woman.
I feel sorry for me.
Yeah, no, exactly. He probably doesn't listen to mine anyway. It's fine.
I know he'll never hear this.
He might listen to yours. But so yeah, what sort of numbers of stock of beef and sheep has been run there as well?
Do you know what? I actually couldn't tell you. I'm not sure. No,
they're just there.
They're just there, and I just work with them.
What breeds is it?
Mostly blackies.
Right.
And then mules crossed with Suffolks for lambs.
Cool. Yeah, so just for those of you guys listening, Louise has mentioned there's sort of blackies, mules that are then crossed with Suffolk. What that basically is the transition of the full sheep system called stratified system. And it's basically a what would we say, a system that's followed the world over in sheep production. In Scotland, what we have is we've got Scottish blackface, the famous black-faced one with the horns. They breed sort of pure on the hill, and then when that female gets to the stage, depending on the farm's policy, maybe it's an age thing, maybe it's feet issues, teeth issues, that sort of thing, and sort of bring her down onto easier pasture for an easier life. And she's met with that long wool crossing ram, which is called a blue-faced Leicester. I'm guessing yours are Scotch mules, Louise, is that?
Aye, yeah, Scotch mules, yeah.
And then they create that Scotch mule, which is a really good mother, and sort of quite a prolific mother as well. And they are met with a terminal sire, which really should be a Texel, but Louise is using the suffix. No, I'm joking. I don't want to start a war. And that creates your final prime lamb. What do you think of the suffix? Are you a fan?
I'm a fan. Yeah, I do like the suffix. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, the rising popularity, and it's also quite good to see a native breed as well. Mm-hmm. So you've got sort of two farms there, both family farms. How long, out of interest, has the beef and sheep been in the family? Going back generation wise.
So it's my mum's dad. He bought it from his uncle, who. Oh no, that's not right. So my grandfather's uncle rented it from the estate, and then the estate then started renting it out to my grandfather, and then my grandfather bought it from the estate. So it's and I don't think it goes any further back than that. Right.
I think that's quite a long time though, fairness.
Yeah.
So what'll that be like? In some ways, fourth generation you've been involved?
Yeah, because my uncle is on the farm as well. So
yeah. And what about the home farm?
That is, how long is my dad, then there's my grandfather, and then my great grandfather. So it's longer than the other farm.
So both farms have been around for a while in the family. Yeah. That's class. You don't hear of it often nowadays. And now it's good that other folk are coming in, new entrants in that, but it's always pretty nice to hear like a generational story.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. And away from your are you full time on between the two then? Is that, or are you working away as well? Yeah.
No, I'm between the two. It just depends who needs me more. You know, where I'm just like juggling about all over the place. And then I'm getting pulled here, there, everywhere.
Is there anyone else working on the farms?
Yeah, so on the dairy we've got my mum, my dad, my brother, and then we've got the dairyman. And on my grandfather's farm, we've got my granny, my grandpa, my uncle, and then myself.
Excellent. Very good. A lot of people involved in it. Good family affair. Away from sort of on the farm, you do quite a lot with young farmers, is that right?
I try to get involved as much as possible, yes.
Which club is that?
Calendar.
How many members roughly are in it? Not sure.
Yeah. I'm not good with numbers. If you...
I know, I always ask too much. It doesn't really matter.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I used to be when I first joined. It was quite a small club, but the numbers have increased over the few years. So it's quite a reasonable sized club now.
Brilliant. What sort of things are you doing through the young farmers?
Well, it was mostly tug of war. In the summer there, and we've got a concert coming up, but I'm not taking part in that.
I'll go on.
And we do club activities and stuff. We did go-karting not that long ago, and we've got the Christmas dinner coming up, and we've just had our dinner dance too. So
it looked like a good night.
It was a very good night. Yeah.
Tug of war, have you done that for long?
I did it about 5-6 years ago. Then I had like a 4-year break, and then that's me back into it again.
Hasn't everyone had at least a 2-year break from anything? Like, it seems to have been the only way you could deal with recent times anyway. Has it taken you far? Have you traveled around the country or?
Well, this year we were in Northern Ireland pulling for Scotland. But that's with the national competitions, with the actual tug of war club. But we're mostly young farmers in the club anyway. The 8-man, but young farmers is just 6-man. So we had like there was a Highland show sort of. I can't remember what it was called. The young farmers had something at Ingliston, and we pulled it at.
Was that for the showcase thing? Was it?
Aye, that's it. Aye, yeah. That's where we had our tug of war competition.
How does that circuit work? Is it like a tournament, or is it like a group stage thing, or how? Any idea? Or is it just?
You have 2. Is it leagues? I don't know. You have 2 groups of all your teams, and like it's like a.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how to describe it. Like,
I see what you mean, and then it must be like a point system on playing all or not.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right. Playing tug of war. Tugging doesn't sound right.
Tugging tug of war. So you have like your group of, say, 5 teams, and then another group of 5 teams, and then those 5 teams will pull against each other, and then those 5 teams will pull against each other, and then the winners will pull against each other in the end. I don't know what that kind of, is that a tournament or a league?
Yeah, I guess so. What's it, like group and knockout stages or something like that?
I don't know. I should know, but I don't. I just go along with it.
Yeah, that's the important part. I mean, arranging how the actual tournament work isn't really your job on the ground, is it?
No.
But so concert, no one could convince you.
Well, I was going for a little while, and then I dropped out. I couldn't commit. I didn't know any of the dances anyway. I'm not very coordinated to that way.
God, I don't even want to think about how I would do in that sort of thing. Laura and Nifty were trying to convince me to get involved, but I just said it was too late.
Yes.
Too late.
Too late now.
Good stuff. Young Farmers is a fun one. I mean, I currently am wearing my Iron Young Farmers. No, that's my name. That's not Iron Young Farmers. Iron Young Farmers hoodie, which we started back. Well, I think it was 2015. Maybe like 12 folk, and it was. That's not many, but it's a small place, and it was going quite well. And just people moved away and stuff like that, and it didn't happen. But I always sort of wanted to get involved in Young Farmers. There's a lot of avenues it can take you. Tug of war, speech making, all that sort of stuff. There's loads of different ways it can go.
Yeah, loads of opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. For those of you listening, I am sure at some point today, if you're under the age of 50, and maybe that's a wee bit discriminatory to say that, but let's just say everyone has probably spent about 4.5 hours on one annoying little app. And I certainly know every time I wake up, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll have a wee minute on TikTok. And then it's 10:30 and I've slept in and I've watched a million videos of someone telling me how to put a banana through a cup handle or shuffle dancing or whatever. Especially at this time of year, I love when people do the wee thing and they throw the bauble into a room and then it's all Christmassy and stuff. You're probably thinking, Wallace, why are you talking about TikTok? The reason I'm saying that is you might have seen Louise's face pop up because I have a following in total of about 4,500, which I thought was quite big. But Louise, are you sitting at 174,000, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
A lot of people, people, and about, I think it was 2 million likes when I checked on different videos. But we'll start with why did you start making TikToks? How did that come about?
I don't know. Well, why does anyone start making TikToks? Just boredom, isn't it?
Did you start during COVID?
Yeah, I think it was not long after lockdown.
Yeah, most folk done that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you just start posting stuff about the farm at the start?
Yeah, just random videos. Not nothing. I wasn't trying to be famous. Yeah, just random videos with the trending sounds and that sort of thing.
Do any of the fancy dances?
I did, but I don't really do them anymore.
Oh, I've tried so many of them and they have never seen the light of day for so many reasons.
I know it's quite hard to learn them, so waste of time.
Did we the sun goes down from my side?
Oh yeah, I did that. Yeah, I did that. That was an easy one though. I could remember it.
So proud of it. It took me and my friend like 40 attempts. I fell off the bale so many times as well. It's an absolute nightmare. Yeah, but you sort of started to use it for good as well, not just to show dancing and whatnot. You sort of do little tutorials, if you will, about farming and that sort of thing. Have they been quite well received?
Yeah, I like to add them into the mix. I found that if you just post those sort of videos, they don't get the same response. But if you kind of mix them in with humor or random videos, then folk watch because they want to watch you. So, and then they end up learning as well. So,
yeah, and it's good to get that sort of stuff out there because with the pandemic and whatnot, farming's been in the news for a lot of good for once, which is not all that common. Certainly that I remember, it's always been, oh, it's killing the environment, all that sort of things, and all these negatives. And it's good to see these things popping up. I mean, there's a lot of us doing it on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, but on TikTok, it's starting to become a bit more popular. And the amount of folk that are on TikTok is phenomenal. It's like,
oh yeah.
Was there a time when you sort of had just a normal following and then suddenly it shot up, or did you have a video, or has it just slowly climbed?
Yeah, I think I had, it's not a normal following, but I had 30,000, and then I posted a video about being Scottish because someone called me Irish. So I was like, oh, I'm not Irish, I'm Scottish. And next minute I had 100,000 followers.
That's mad.
Literally within a week. It was mental.
I did have to laugh at your the guy who you were trying to get just out the road of at the door, and they said, "Oh, no worries, big man."
Oh, I know. I couldn't stop thinking about it all morning. I was so offended.
I can imagine. But I mean, it was a popular video.
It was, yeah. I know. It's done well, and now everyone keeps calling me big man in the comments.
I can imagine.
So I did see that one coming, to be fair.
That's now your name. If you didn't want that, you should have never posted that.
I shouldn't have brought it up, but it's out now.
Have you had sort of any negative stuff with obviously sort of vegans and sort of antis out there?
Nothing major, just a few comments. Where's the calves' mother, and you're an abuser, but nothing major because I don't really give them much time.
Yeah.
So it just depends. Some videos are absolutely fine, and then other videos get absolutely flooded with them. But when you get a video flooded with angry vegans, then usually the video does quite well. So
oh, that'll be true. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not really a bad thing, really.
Well, no, it's not. It's not. And has that led to sort of how to say this? What's the word? Yeah. Do you get sort of adverts through TikTok, or how does that work? Because I've seen for example, what's the company? Oh my god, showing my lack of fashion sense here. Fairfax and Favour.
Yes.
So does that sort of thing come forward quite often? Or maybe you just were wearing it and you were a fan.
No. They've come forward and asked me to advertise some of their products. So I get them gifted, which is fantastic.
Very
and
nice.
Since being on BBC, I've had quite a lot of people come forward, like yourself, interested in doing other stuff. So yeah.
Well, that's interesting actually, because I wanted to talk about the BBC thing as well. How did that come about?
I got a message from the BBC Scotland Instagram page. I was like, oh, what's this?
And then they just came on to farm, did a wee video.
No, it was actually on Zoom.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
So I had to stand outside in the rain for an hour. Yeah, it took a while, but we got there eventually.
And did that see a rise in TikTok followers or not really?
Not really. I think I've gained maybe 1,000 extra followers, but you gain more from viral videos.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like, look at, I've always been quite interested in like the different, what do you call it, like metrics and analytics and stuff like that, and things like TV and all that is such a boomer thing to TikTok users, isn't it? Like,
yeah, because it was my grandfather's friend Dave who seen me first, because I didn't tell anyone when it was when it was coming out or anything, and then Mum got a phone call from Papa saying, "Oh, Dave's just seen Louise on BBC. Why didn't you tell us?" I was like, "Oh, I just wanted to see who would find it first." So
the chase, who's going to find it first?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting that the whole TikTok thing. I mean, with this podcast, I've had folk from different social medias, like Cammy with YouTube and Funky Farmer and Field Sports Channel with YouTube and that sort of thing. Facebook with Our Farming Journey and Instagram and everything.
Yeah.
And it's interesting when you look at farming. I mean, you just think of farming as on the ground farming, and that's the only way you can make money. It's actually becoming almost the secondary way a lot of folk are making money now. Just with diversifications and stuff like that, it's cool to see, especially in a Brexit world, because who knows what that means. But that's a whole different discussion for a whole different day. What was I going to say? Instagram as well. Just on that, out of interest, quite a lot of followers on Instagram. Is that purely through TikTok? Do you think?
That's just purely through TikTok. Yeah, it was my personal account, and then people just came over from TikTok. So I've just kept it as it's. I don't really post anything informational on my actual posts, but on my stories, I post more about farming and stuff. So if people want to watch my stories and see farming, then that's fine. But I don't really take the posting pictures route with information. Like, I know a lot of accounts do that, try and keep it more fun, more my Instagram, more.
Yeah, well, that's great, and the stories seem to be the bit that matters. I mean, I really don't understand all this stuff, I'll be honest. I've got it down on Facebook. Everyone asks me the stuff on Facebook. I'm like, what's a reel? Not up on Instagram. That's be really cool to chat about, though. It's fun to have our first TikToker on. Who else can I think of that's a big farming TikToker? Maria Warren, that's maybe the other one. Yeah. Might try Maria. What we always do at the end of these podcasts, Louise, is there's sort of two questions we ask everyone, and one is, if you had any tips for what I see you smiling, thinking what he's going to be. Honestly,
it's brain work.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. I promise I won't ask you a number. Well, actually, one of the questions has a number in it, but I think you'll manage. So yeah, if you had tips for sort of anyone coming into farming, what would they be? And then the second one is, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Tip for anyone coming into farming would be to remember that you can't know it all straight away. Even the old ones are constantly learning new things. So don't feel that you need to know everything. Just remember that everyone's always learning, including yourself.
Yeah, that's such a problem in farming, isn't it? You see so many folk coming into it, and there's this like almost unspoken peer pressure that you have to know it all, which is not true at all.
No, nope.
Good one. 5 years. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I don't know. I did have my own sheep for a little while. I only had 25, but I would quite like my own sheep again. So I'd like to obviously still be working in agriculture, but with my own sheep flock on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you be looking to rent another place or have them on the farm?
Pay rent or have my dad let me keep his sheep on his farm. I think I would try and wiggle some ground for sheep.
Yeah. Try and bend his arm on that one.
Yeah, we'll see. So if you're listening, Dad, then
pretty please.
Please.
And just one thing I'd say I never really thought to jump onto. You mentioned you were working with Cammy. Is that you work at the market from time to time? Is that what that is?
So, one of my uncles, he's in charge of the crutching at the market. So it's a team of 8. I think there's 8 stands. And they're all crutching the lambs. And I'm at the back pushing them up in their pens and making sure they don't all get mixed and whatnot.
And how many days a week's that?
Just on Thursdays.
Right. Yeah.
I've only done it 5 weeks, but I can't remember how long we do it for. I think it's until March. I'm not 100%
that makes sense.
sure.
Yeah.
My first year doing it, but
I've always sort of wanted to work in a market, and then thought I would find it a lot of pressure. I'm not good for that.
Yeah, the gates are quite confusing. It all just like merges into one.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like you can't see past what's in front. Oh God, nightmare.
Yeah,
I'd be too confused. But no, that's been really good. It's been a pleasure having you on, and thank you for coming on. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Having me. Yeah.
Good. I hope it's been an enjoyable first podcast for you.
Yeah.
Many more to come.
We'll see.
Is there anything else that you would like to cover that we haven't sort of touched on there?
I can't think of anything.
Oh, good. Perfect. Well, thank you very much. And to those of you listening, thank you very much for listening as always. And we will see you in 2 more weeks' time. See you later.